I like Miss Baggett because she tells me funny stories when she's teaching, and she makes math interesting.
Heather Barnes was my favorite teacher because all her classes were very inspirational and helped me grow in my faith. Whether I was crying my eyes out on her couch or laughing hysterically, we always learned something, and she...
My favorite teacher memory was when we distracted Miss Berkey for about 2 days just by asking her random questions. And at one point, she told us about this squirrel that got stuck in her tree, and then in the winter, it froze, and they couldn't get it down, and there was some guy with a trash can, and he was like beating it with his cane and caught it in his trash can, and it was very funny.
Hey, I'm Michael and Nick, and we're going to tell you a little about Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins was a funny little man. He was a great teacher, always enthusiastic, hopping up on the desk, really got into class.
And he always tried to sell us Mona V.
And now, what was Mona V again?
His health drink scam.
Oh, yeah.
My name's Danielle, and I'm a senior, and my favorite teacher memory is Miss Cornwell, and I like to tease her, and she likes to tease me back. And my favorite memory of her is when I got the Pest Award for basketball, and even though I wasn't there, but yeah, it's a great memory.
And my other favorite memory is when Mrs. Cousin, when we took her to the mall for her farewell gift when she was going to Germany with her husband. We took her to Apple Blossom Mall, and we were there for 2 or 3 hours, and after a while we had to meet up near the food court, and our class was all gathered there and waiting for a few students to come and meet up with us, but they didn't, and when they finally did show up, they parted ways through the mall and all went separate ways. And our class had to split up and look for him. It took us about 20 minutes to look for him, but we did, and we finally came back to the school, and it was actually fun.
When I was in 3rd grade, we went to Larry Caverns. Mr. Fahey took us, and it was a pretty good time. There was a bat that flew like this close, and it really scared me. And I fell on the ground and started crying, and it got me really scared.
My favorite teacher memory was of Anna Fox when we had our indoor snow day because we were supposed to have a snow day but we didn't have it. And then when she would start doing like front flips and stuff in our classroom just to have us laugh.
Hi, I'm Noah Baggett. My favorite teacher memory is with Mrs. Hammond. And back in the day, we used to go into her classroom and set up her chairs in a little bowling pin formation. Meadows and myself would get the rolly chair, and we would just run into the chairs, and they would just scatter everywhere. And Mrs. Hammond didn't like that very much, and it was kind of funny.
Well, I guess one of my best memories was going on the leadership retreats with, not the leadership retreats, the drama retreats with Mrs. Hardman. And we had a lot of fun there. The first one was at Massanutten, and that was probably one of the funnest times we've ever had with our drama team. Writing our first play and stuff, it was just really a great experience hanging out like that in that atmosphere and at that place. It was just a really good time for all of us. Nothing specific, it was just like, when we all came back, we were really sad. And we all just wanted to go back because it was just such an amazing weekend.
One of my favorite memories is Mrs. Higgins teaching me how to work with math.
I love sitting and talking to Miss Hilton. We used to sit and talk for hours and just have a lot of good stories, and she would always lift my spirits, and we'd have good laughs, and she was not only a great friend, but she was an amazing teacher.
Alright, one of my favorite teacher memories was in 5th grade, sometime in October, I think. We had our China Day because she was Ms. Zutall at the time. Ms. Zutall had come back from China, so she wanted to kind of teach us the Chinese culture and everything. And she was there for that party, and then didn't come back the next day, and we just figured it would be for a little while, but then they came in like 2 weeks later and told us that she was diagnosed with leukemia, and so that was our last day with Ms. Zutall for 5th grade. but then fortunately we got her back in 6th grade, and she came back as our teacher.
Talking about Miss Kiter, and wanted to say that she relates to students very well, and that I've never had one class period where I haven't laughed or smiled at least once.
My favorite teacher memory of Miss Louder was when she was trying to teach me how to play the clarinet. It was pretty interesting, trying to teach me how to play an instrument.
My favorite memory of Miss Meta is when she just played apples to apples with us. Like, most teachers wouldn't play with us, they just watch, but Miss Meta, she played with us. It was really special.
One of my favorite memories was of Mrs. Morgan when we went geocaching. That was fun.
And also, I remember when she let us draw or do math on the table with dry erase markers.
That was pretty fun, though.
My favorite teacher memory is one time, every time we go to the bathroom, Miss Presley would always hide, and when the last person was in the bathroom, we'd go and hide in the teacher's lounge. And one time I was the last person in the bathroom, and they hid from me, and I couldn't find them. And then Miss Presley went up to the office and called my name and told me to go to the computer lab, and they weren't out there. And I ran around the school looking for everybody.
My favorite teacher memory was of Miss Ruckshard in kindergarten. We always played this game, Treasure Trash, where she found a piece of trash on the floor, and if we got it, we got a treasure. Well, that day I was having a really bad day in kindergarten. It all started, gosh. And I kept, somebody tripped me and I got hurt and I was just crying, but I ended up winning, and I got 4 stickers and a pencil. It's pretty great. And then when my great-grandfather died, I didn't really realize what was wrong or what had happened or anything, but I did one day in class when we were praying, and I asked her to pray for him. And she told me that she explained to me that he wasn't coming back. And when I started crying, she just kind of held me in her arms and let me cry and cry like the rest of the class period. And she didn't say anything. She just kind of hugged me and let it come out.
One of my favorite teacher memories was of Lynette Ritter. She was like a mother figure to me. Missions class was amazing. She made everything fun about it, and we got to take tons of trips, and she was just the best teacher I've ever had.
One of my favorite teacher memories was Miss Edelstrom when she got us a book with Biscuit, and we took Biscuit home with us. He was a puppy, and we wrote in his journal about what we did with him that